is that this is more than just about immigration or deportations. This is about a red line in the sand that Donald Trump is now stepping over. The fact that he's unwilling to listen to the Supreme Court, of which he appointed conservative justices to, is a fire alarm moment in this country. He has been ordered to bring Abreu Garcia back to the United States and refused to do so. This should be a bipartisan issue. All Americans should be putting pressure on Donald Trump to do the right thing, not just because it's the right thing to do for human rights or for him and his family. He has to do it for due process and law in this country. So that's why we're advocating. This is bigger than about just Kilmer Garcia. This is about due process in the United States.
Right. And certainly many Democrats have argued that about defying the Supreme Court. The White House has claimed that it isn't. And this looks to be headed right back to the Supreme Court. I'm just wondering, Congressman Frost, is the message about due process and Abreu Garcia, for his part, not getting it and so forth, is that really resonating with your constituents right now?
It is. And the reason I went on the trip is because I've received hundreds of phone calls, messages, mail correspondence from my constituents who live here in Florida's 10th asking me to do something. I represent a very, very diverse community full of immigrants, full of people from our...
Agarré, patrona.
Oh.
Agarré duro.
Oh, sí, está pesado. Está pesado. Yo no sabía que estaba. What, is it? Yeah, it's heavy. Put it on.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. So, again, what we have here is just another step of why Democrats are just the most corrupt and bad party that we've seen so far, considering the fact that a judge has stepped down for housing a Tren de Agua member. Yeah, that's right. It is just amazing on how far these Democrats are going to go, and it just shows as well on how these Democrats in particular, even with the judges, they just can't be trusted. Because obviously, if they could be trusted, they wouldn't be housing a Tren de Agua gang member, and it's just kind of more insane. It's really, really crazy on how we get here. So without further ado, we have this here where the judge is just simply housing these illegal immigrants. I'm not quite sure how we get here, but man, it's a crazy world, huh?
I'm Christine Frizzau in Washington, where President Trump continues to push the boundaries with his immigration policy and has been met with some pushback from federal judges and even the U.S. Supreme Court. Meanwhile, a judge in New Mexico serving since 2011 has just resigned following allegations he's been allowing a member of the gang Tren de Aragua to live with him and handle guns in his house.
Oh, sí, está pesado.
At first glance, the videos and photos tell a story of a family that loved guns. But who they shared those guns and their home with came as a shock to local authorities. The homeowner, Joel Cano, a Democratic judge in Doña Ana County, New Mexico, who resigned last month following a raid on his home, in which Christian Ortega-Lopez was arrested, charged with being in the country illegally and possessing a firearm.
This judge's daughter is allowing this illegal alien to have access to firearms, which is unlawful under 18 U.S.C. 922G. It is a felony for this illegal alien to be in possession of firearms.
Court documents reveal
Guys, it's really insane on where we're going with this, right? I mean, if you were just thinking rationally here, why is a judge harboring a terrorist person at this point and a gang member and has access to guns? And this is the same judge that would be like, oh, Trump, you can't go after gang members or what have you, and he's doing this. It's like, you're already compromised. And he stepped down due to this, and it's just like, Democrats, what are you doing? Like, it's like the Democrats are going to say don't do this or don't do that, but the fact of the matter is they're doing exactly the same things that they're saying don't do, or they're harboring criminals in their own homes, and they want to claim that they have legal precedent over stuff like this when they have their own Democratic judge doing this. It's insane. It really is insane.
He entered the country unlawfully in December 2023, and a few months later had been hired by the judge's wife, Nancy, who later offered him a place to stay in her residence that she shared with her husband. But most shocking, Homeland Security officials say Ortega-Lopez displayed clear indicators of his association with the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua, or TDA. Not just his clothing or tattoos, but voicemails and text messages, they say, provide significant evidence for their case against him. One reason they ask that he remain behind bars.
Doña County has been a hotbed of illegal immigration and drug trafficking, human smuggling for many, many years. And to see that a judge would allow this to happen, it's very concerning. It's concerning, what else has this judge been doing?
What we don't know is if Judge Cano or his wife will be charged with any crimes, like harboring an illegal immigrant or providing material support to a foreign terror group. President Trump designated TDA, as well as other gangs like MS-13, foreign terrorist organizations in an executive order he signed on his first day in office. I'm Christine Frizzau.
It's just, guys, it's absolutely hilarious, man. I don't know what else to tell you, man. This is just the reality of Democrats. They will harbor criminals, terrorist organizations into their own homes, and they want to claim that they're on the high moral ground here of being we're amazingly good people, right? So you're just gonna harbor terrorist organization people, gang members, etc., and you're going to use the legal system as there's some type of ability to stop this, right? Or Trump's doing the bad thing, but. Yeah, no, I think this guy should 100% be charged, both him and his wife, for honestly endangering their community and harboring a fugitive slash terrorist organization member, right? I 100% agree that they should be charged, without a doubt. And that's the only way we're going to actually solve problems here, because this judge is just completely out of step. Again, we have this that says a Dem judge in New Mexico steps down after a man with alleged Tren de Agua ties found in his home. A New Mexico judge tendered his resignation last month after immigration authorities detained a suspect with alleged ties to the Tren de Agua gang in his home during a late February raid. Federal agents from the Department of Homeland Security raided former Ana County Magistrate Judge Jose Cano's home on February 28th and arrested 23-year-old Venezuelan national Christian Ortega-Lopez. Authorities also confiscated 4 firearms from Cano's daughter's residence after obtaining search warrants in response to social media evidence of Ortega-Lopez's ties to Tren de Agua, the ruthless Venezuelan prison gang. Cano, a Democrat who served as a judge since 2011, made no mention of the arrest in his resignation letter, which came days later on March 3rd. Of course he didn't, because Democrats don't take accountability for anything. Because they don't want to be labeled as, I harbored a fugitive. I harbored a terrorist organization guy in my own home. Again, look at this. I mean, guys, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? A spokesperson for New Mexico's Administrative Office of the Courts explained that the state Supreme Court and the Third Judicial Court, where Cano was based, did not receive resignation until March 31st. Revelations about the alleged gangbanger living in Cano's residence were first made in court documents seeking to keep Ortega-Lopez in detention. The story has since gained traction in local media, including the Albuquerque Journal newspaper. Ortega-Lopez began interacting with Cano's family a little over a year ago after helping the judge's wife install a glass door and doing other odd jobs for her. By April last year, he was booted from his apartment in El Paso that she shared with 5 others, which prompted by Nancy Cano, the judge's wife, to offer him lodging in the casilla of their home in Las Cruces, New Mexico. During his stay, Ortega-Lopez seemingly began to bond with Judge's daughter, April Cano, who possessed a large number of firearms and let him hold on to some of them per court record. So again, as I said before, this person should obviously be arrested. Both of these people should be arrested. And we have this here where Democratic Judge Joe Cano banned by New Mexico Supreme Court after alleged Tren de Agua gang member arrested in his home. So this guy was also banned from the New Mexico Supreme Court. So obviously he can't do anything. And this guy should be arrested post haste immediately. It says the discipline handed down by the Supreme Court of New Mexico forced sales disciplinary hearings scheduled for Thursday. Investigators found pictures on social media of Ortega-Lopez, 23, eating dinner with Cano's family and posing for Christmas pictures in 2024. So yeah, this judge should in all bar rights be cooked. Again, it's banned from his command. It's crazy. And of course, what else do we have here from this judge, right? Or from what we get from Democrats? And of course, we have more of this where who are harboring migrants in this home apparently this thing is a constant thing that goes on.
Universe whose immigration status is not yet at the point that they are trying to get it to. And we said, you know what, let's have her live at our house above our garage. And good luck to the feds coming in to try.
Now, you would think Democrats would go differently, right? They would start changing their tune and how bad this is. But of course, Joe Scarborough, this just Democratic pundit, this Democratic propagandist from MSNBC, think this is a good idea, that they should keep on doing this. They should keep on defending illegal immigrants. But of course, Democrats are incredibly delusional in this sense that they think this should be ongoing. But I don't know what else they're going to do. It's like insanity just runs too deep with them. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a fan of the Republicans either. I think there's a lot of issues with the Republican Party, especially with them not standing up for the American people unless Trump's in office. But again, when you have Democrats, especially like Joe Scarborough, saying, oh, it's okay, this is the hill that we should technically die on, this is fine, we're going to defend illegal immigrants all the way to the end, even though it's detriment to our party, it's crazy. It really is crazy.
Deport people without any due process, branding them gang members without any evidence. People aren't even sure what the charges are against them, and they've basically been shipped to what, in effect, is a legal black site in a third country.
And there has been a wing of the Republican Party that's wanted this for a long time. You write about that. There's also, of course, when I was there, another wing that was sort of like the more Reagan wing, which was let as many immigrants in as want to come in. It's better for our economy. But Donald Trump, though, if you look at his approval numbers, they're upside down, especially on inflation, on the economy, on things they've never been upside down on. But you look at his numbers on immigration, and they're up there. Like, they would far rather us be talking about immigration and Abreu Garcia than talking about Jay Powell or the stock markets. And they will, Hegseth, and they will tell you, please, they're thinking, please talk about immigration instead of Hegseth, immigration instead of tariffs, immigration instead of the market, because his numbers are strong on immigration.
Well, you're zeroing in on something that I think has really befuddled Democrats, which is the fact that, his numbers seem strong on immigration. I do really think, and I insist, that although people in general, when you look at polling, say, okay, they're okay with the idea of mass deportation, they're okay with the idea of increased immigration enforcement and so on, what we're actually seeing is something far harsher than anything he's promised, something far uglier than anything he said he would do. I do think that by and large, if Americans followed closely what was happening to people who were caught up in this immigration enforcement dragnet, I do think they would be appalled. But it's up to Democrats to really hold his feet to the fire. And right now, I think they're anxious about it.
I think immigration's one issue, but I think Abreu Garcia, as flawed as he is in many ways, if you look back at his history, well, I'm talking about him as a person. If you look at him as a person, that might not be somebody that people say, oh, this is who we want to, go down and visit in El Salvador, et cetera, et cetera. If you look at domestic violence, et cetera, et cetera. And yet at the same time, that is breaking through. I had a debate with a friend of mine. It was like, oh, Democrats are so stupid. I said, I'm not so sure they're so stupid. I think this is so heinous that even with a guy that has a very complicated past, it is breaking through. And what did we see on Joe Rogan's show?
All right. This is the reason why I think this guy's a clown. This is why I honestly think Joe Scarborough is a clown, and many of the other Democrats are clowns, because they think that normal, everyday Americans want a illegal immigrant and a gang member just being allowed in our country. This is what they think. That Joe Scarborough says it's breaking through. Like it's actually things are happening. People are changing their tune. No, I don't think it's not. In fact, I have actual evidence it's not, because this is a random reporter, Fox News reporter, going around asking people about, if you want a gang member, Trende Agua, whatever, in their city or in their city, in their county, in their home, etc., running around, and obviously we get the results that we think they're going to say, right?
He's a legal immigrant. He was living in Maryland, designated MS-13 terrorist, and Donald Trump deported him. How does that make you feel?
I feel safer.
He gotta go. He gotta go.
Need to go. I mean, that's it.
But he was a father.
But he's still a terrorist.
Okay. I mean, but there's children living without fathers now.
He should have picked the tree, so he picked to be a terrorist instead of worrying about his children.
The Democrats, they want him back. They say he was wrongfully deported. He has a wife and a kid who's a citizen. They're calling this a national emergency. Is this a national emergency?
I wouldn't call it a national emergency. We got more things going on. We have more things, more fish to fry.
I just found out about it, so I don't think so. What kind of national emergency? For what? What is the emergency for?
Ain't no national emergency, no.
He was accused of hitting his wife twice and was a suspected human smuggler. Was he wrongfully deported?
No. He need to go.
If he's a smuggler, yeah, he need to be deported.
It's better to be safe than sorry.
I mean, what are we doing here, right? Like, as you can see here, these people say we don't even want them here. No, if he's an illegal immigrant, just get him out. Just get him out. So, again, I don't know what we're doing with this. Like, the Democrats are so stupid that they think that the American people are stupid. I mean, let me put a $1.50 here. The Democrats honestly think Americans are stupid. That's what I think that what they're doing, because there's no way that these people think that the Americans want illegal immigrants, want illegal violent people or gang members in their country. Right? There's no way. And they want to die on this hill. They want to die on this hill of allowing illegal immigrants and gang members into our country. And they honestly think that the Americans want this to happen, right? They want illegal immigrants to still be in this country, where, as you can just see here, they don't want the illegal immigrants here. They just don't. And this is coming from like other black people that are saying the similar things here. So what's going on here is that the Democrats are completely out of touch with the reality. And this is the reason why they're not going to win again. Because if they think that this is what normal people think, that they want illegal immigrants, are sadly mistaken. It's crazy that we're here. But again, what else can we say? I mean, we have a judge that's clearly stepping down, may possibly, most likely be charged for harboring a terrorist organization guy and a gang member into their own home. I mean, it is what it is, man. Like, these people are about as trustworthy as a donut. And trust me, they're not very trustworthy. In fact, donuts they're not very good for you. They taste great, but, it's just not good for you. So, yeah, it's insane. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Please subscribe, share. As always, take care, my friends.